On this show, we follow the money, and when VSiN decided to launch our own store, the smart money was on Shopify. Getting the VSiN store off the ground was easier than we expected, and Shopify's templates and AI tools had us look incredible and professional from day one. Zero coding required. Shopify checkout keeps sales moving smoothly, and returning customers can complete a purchase in one click. Built-in analytics, you always know what's selling and where your customers are coming from and how to keep the momentum going. When questions come up, and they will, Shopify's AI assistant Sidekick is there with answers so you never lose momentum. You can check out the store at vsin.com/store. And if you're ready to build your own, all you need is the idea. Shopify handles the rest. Start your free trial at shopify.com/vsin. Shopify.com/vsin. Again, that's shopify.com/vsin.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Thanks for watching, as always, on YouTube TV, listening on SiriusXM, channel 158, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, or any of our great affiliates across the country. Mitch Moss, along with Doug Kazarian, live downtown Vegas. Circa Resort Casino was a spot. Busy hour coming up, Doug. In 15 minutes, you're going to tell the audience about you placed a bet on LeBron's next team over the weekend, and it was not the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Fact, plus 530, and the market's still around there as well.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of this is noise, and for myself as well, so I lean into the variance, as I explained earlier.
Yep. We'll go out now to the Progressive guest line. We'll talk some more World Cup betting as Chris Vasily joins the program now. Does a great job with Covers.com. Hey, Chris, thanks for the time today. How are you?
I'm doing well. Can't believe we're finally at the semifinal stage, business end of the tournament. I think we got 4 number 1 seeds going at it. Should be good watch in the next 48 hours.
Totally concur. By the way, what'd you make of the report that at the next World Cup 2030 could be going from 48 to 64 teams all of a sudden?
Yeah, you know what? I'm for it. I think everybody had a big they were up in arms about expanding to 48 teams, but at the end of the day, you put soccer onto television, people are going to watch it, especially, a country club competition there. I'm for it. I think it's going to be great. And people will watch it if it's put on TV.
I totally agree. I don't want to be among the people who are going to have the anti-fun running through the blood system 4 years before the event actually starts. Like, you can embrace this. This event has been unbelievable. One of the best I can remember in any sport. So the semifinals will begin tomorrow. We'll be on the air for the second half of France and Spain, which is just an absolute banger. What is your best bet between these two countries, Chris?
Yeah, this game's going to be, has the makings of the, World Cup finals. I'm on the under 2.5 goals, minus 110. I know I'm on a bit of an island here when it comes to these two teams. Obviously, you see, the likes of, Mbappe, Dembele, Lamel for France, for Spain, sorry. And you think you're going to get goals. But I do think this is going to be more of a tactical approach. I know, at the beginning of the show, you guys are not rushing football season along, but, an analogy here. France is kind of like that North Texas program. They just want to go all out all the time, attack. Spain's more of a Michigan. They're going to run control the game, run the ball, dictate play on their tempo. I do think the defensive abilities of Spain is going to win out in this specific contest. I think they're going to limit France's ability to counterattack, which they've been doing, lightning quick throughout the entire tournament. I know they have a good goal scoring record, elite players up front with France, but I do think this Spanish side is obviously the best teams that, they've each seen thus far this tournament. I think we're in for a cautious first half approach where, teams are going to want to fill each other out and not, make that mistake to go behind the 8 ball. I think under 2.5 is the way to go. I'm holding Spain to reach the finals ticket at plus 230 from pre-tournament. So I do lean a little bit more toward the Spain side to advance, but under 2.5 is the way I'm playing this one.
All right, that's pretty interesting, and I liked how you explained it. So just a couple things. Sometimes we see like, oh, you can't have Spain. That's a value play, but it sounds like you're pretty confident in just the matchup, regardless of the price. So that was my takeaway. You also mentioned that you think the first half will be slower scoring. Now, under a half, plus 185, so that's pretty nice. But if you think Spain will dictate and keep this 0-0 in the first half, because obviously if there's a goal early in the second half, this game can get to 2-0, then the game can get away. So it sounds like the script that you described, are you taking a piece of under a half in the first half?
So under a half in the first half, plus 185, that is good value. If you look at this France attack, for example, they've scored 11 of their 16 goals so far in the second half of the World Cup. So they're not exactly, coming out of the gates flying. Spain, obviously, they're more, limited in their approach. They've not exactly blown teams out of the water, at all this tournament. So yeah, under half a goal in the first half, plus 185, or you could go the second half to be the highest scoring half. If you're, expecting a lower scoring half, which I am. Ultimately, yeah, it all leads to under 2.5 with Spain dictating the tempo, the possession, and kind of limiting France's ability to, run and stretch your legs and get those playmakers involved.
Okay, so if you like Spain in the first semifinal, let us follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Our guest is Chris Vasili, covers.com. Who do you think they're going to be? Yeah, I know you have another best bet in that game, not the side, but who do you think they're going to play in the finale?
Yeah, so I have an outright Argentina ticket from before the tournament, 10-1. I'm sticking with that. I think, much has been made about Argentina's, luck and, VAR interventions and, just not being at their very best. But at the end of the day, they're still the champions. They know how to get the job done. I think all the pressure I think right now is on the English shoulders. They've not been to the finals since 66. They've not won it since 66. I think this Argentina side, obviously with Lionel Messi leading the way, they're always in a game no matter what. We saw that against Egypt. I do like Argentina to advance, but I do think this game is going to go under 2.5 goals as well. You look at the way they've, they're earned their path to this specific spot. Argentina playing a lot of extra time. England, defending at altitude in Mexico City for, an emotional game for the last 45 minutes or so. Extra time against Norway. It all adds up, tired legs. It's just a game where teams are not going to want to make mistakes. We're at the business end of the tournament now. Teams are going to take more a cautious approach. I lean Argentina to get the job done. And I do like the under 2.5 goals as my best bet.
Let's talk more about that semifinal game. One thing I miss in the NBA is David Stern's NBA, where things were somewhat scripted in the playoffs because of a series getting extended. There's some allegations that Argentina's getting a favorable whistle. The sports fan in me doesn't care. If there's an edge, we will lean into that. I will say, though, on the field, the Argentine player was the one that got the yellow card until the VAR showed what exactly happened, and I felt a no-brainer from VAR in that case. Is this something we can actually factor into our betting? Because Egypt game, obviously there was scrutiny. Should we be wagering on Argentina for that at least being one of the reasons to bet on them?
Right. So there's kind of two ways to attack that. Either, you're either on the right side of the rig or the wrong side of the rig. If you believe in those fixed matches, obviously you're betting Argentina for, what we've seen, I guess, for the first, 3 games of the knockout round, essentially. I'm not buying into it. I'm not naive enough to believe there's not, something going on, but I don't think at this stage in the tournament, there will be, a VAR intervention that favors Argentina in a way that's just appalling, or, vice versa with England. I think, as, the previous guest said, you got to take VAR with a grain of salt. You got to kind of stay level headed. These are kind of out of your control. And I do think, hopefully the best team wins in this game, and there's no kind of VAR controversies that we're talking about, Wednesday night into Thursday morning.
So, Chris, you're telling me that you also are involved here with a Messi prop, but it's not anytime goal scorer. What are you doing with him?
Yeah, we're taking him 2+ shots on target. I think we're getting some good value here at minus 120. Obviously everything runs through him, in the attacking third. He's on penalty kick duties. He's on free kick duties. I do think England at times this tournament has been a little bit susceptible to teams that, pass through the lines. They play in the channels. And, Messi, while he walks for the majority of the game, he's always finding himself in spots that, he can show up and impact the game with. He's gone over this number in 4 of the 6 games so far this tournament. So he is finding volume in terms of shots on target. In a low scoring game, you don't want to take, a minus or close to even money prop on a goal scorer. So I do think 2 shots on target is definitely within his wheelhouse for this contest.
Some of us want large payouts, maybe not the plus 160s here and there, things like that. Is there anything that's maybe Spain to win to 0, something that could be a nice payout with one of these games that where it's a prop, a different kind of prop? Anything that come to mind where, hey, that's not a bad flyer to take in this particular matchup?
You know what? To be honest, I haven't really looked into the kind of the bigger payouts. Kind of focus more on where the edges per se. If you're kind of looking at goal scores, I know I'm on an island here with both games going under. But if you're looking for specific bigger payouts, you could definitely nil would be one angle if you're tailing the unders. Or just parlay a couple of goal scorers for the France Spain game if you think you're going to get the Mbappes and the Lamals is showing out and kind of a little bit of that 5-4 action we saw the last time these two sides met.
Chris, you've had a very strong World Cup as well. What was the streak up to at the beginning? I think was it 11, 12 straight winners that you had?
Oh.
Yeah, we went 11 in a row in the round of 32. So there's 16 games. We gave it 11 best bets and we hit them all. The 12th one we gave out was Canada to advance over Morocco. I did feel confident about it. It wasn't a straight up homer play. I did have some thing for backing them.
Sure.
Obviously it didn't go our way, but yeah, 11 in a row in the round of 32 was a nice touch.
That is a hell of a
bearing
run.
the lead here. Where was that in the intro?
That's incredible. Because I think I saw you guys tweeting that out. It just came to my mind. I should have had that written down a little bit earlier. As a 49-year-old, Doug, my memory is
I'm with you, man.
Yeah, wiped out completely. But that is incredible. By the way, is it our imagination as a you love the sport of soccer? I like it. I'm not a purist. I'm not a historian of the sport. This has been as good as I can ever remember. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I would agree. This is probably the best tournament we've seen since, I would say, 2006. That was kind of the one where, there were stars littered across the entire tournament. From an entertainment perspective, obviously, we're getting more goals in this tournament. Everything's been, great entertainment. Obviously, the games in, North American hours that, help.
That
They
helps.
don't have to wake up too early to watch those or stay up overnight for us here in North America. But yeah, it's been top notch for what we've seen for the last month. Going to miss it when it's gone.
Yep. Well said.
By the way, 0-0, if I'm reading these correctly, 16-1 for that particular game.
Okay. That's a bomb payout.
There you go.
A fun
There you
payout.
go.
Yeah, you can follow Chris on X, by the way, putting up all of his picks, covers.com. He is at MC_silly3. Great job, Chris. Thank you for the time. Best of luck tomorrow and on Wednesday.
Thank you. You as well.
There you go. He joined us on the Progressive guest line. We will get into LeBron's next team. Odds coming up next. Report suggesting it's down to 2 teams. Doug placed a bet on LeBron's next team, and it was not the Cavaliers. Find out which one next.
Let me get your attention real quick, podcast listeners. I've got something for you that almost feels too good to be true. First, credit where credit's due. If you're listening to this podcast, you're already leveling up your betting game. You're riding along with our best bets and top angles. And when there's a good game on, you're getting involved with a few props and alt markets as well. There's one more layer if you really want to step things up, and that's VSiN Pro. I've mentioned it before, but things are only getting better for our pro subscribers. We just rolled out our MLB prop projections, breaking down some of the best edges across strikeouts, hits, home runs, and more. And that's on top of everything else pro subscribers already get, including public betting splits, expert picks, and betting guides across the sports calendar. If you haven't tried it yet, stop sleeping on it. You can get your first month just $9.99 or save big with promo code POD26 on the annual subscription. Hit the link in the description and start cashing in with VSiN Pro. All right, back to the show. On this show, we follow the money, and when VSiN decided to launch our own store, the smart money was on Shopify. Getting the VSiN store off the ground was easier than we expected, and Shopify's templates and AI tools had us look incredible and professional from day one. Zero coding required. Shopify checkout keeps sales moving smoothly, and returning customers can complete a purchase in one click. Built-in analytics, you always know what's selling and where your customers are coming from and how to keep the momentum going. When questions come up, and they will, Shopify's AI assistant Sidekick is there with answers so you never lose momentum. You can check out the store at vsin.com/store. And if you're ready to build your own, all you need is the idea. Shopify handles the rest. Start your free trial at shopify.com/vsin. Shopify.com/vsin. Again, that's shopify.com/vsin.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Coming up in a few minutes, you're going to hear the latest on the LeBron James offseason. Sham Sharania was talking about it on ESPN earlier today. I will tell you that this is a new report. Ben Axelrod tweeted this out, that the consensus among executives polled by Front Office Sports is that LeBron James will likely pick between the Warriors and the Cavaliers. One Western Conference executive said, quote, "I would be stunned if he picked a team that wasn't Golden State or Cleveland," end of quote. Doug Kazarian, you're on the show today. Paulie Howard's on vacation. You bet a team this past weekend, and it was not Cleveland.
I've been saying all along, since I first heard the idea, I didn't come up with the idea, but about a month and a half ago, Golden State passed my smell test. It just felt right, given who LeBron is, where he's in his career, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. This Cleveland thing, don't you think it would be done by now if he was going there? Now, there could be other factors, whether it's a sign and trade with Jared Allen, or maybe there's another domino with trading Harden for another piece, Kyrie. There's buzz on that. So I think the delay in all this, and by the way, all you haters out there, I get it. There's plenty to criticize LeBron about. He does not care about getting extra FaceTime on sports talk radio stations the last week or so. They're trying to figure this out to probably get the right domino to fall, whether it be another Pete like Jimmy Butler trade in Golden State or AD trade, whatever it is. I think there's a reason for this delay with the powers that be, with agents and teams. It's not him milking it, okay? Yes, he milked it for the decision special in 2010. I don't think that's going on here. I think it's Warriors. I think he really wants to play with Steph. I think he wants to play with Draymond. I think he wants to have fun. I think he wants to stay in California.
I think he wants to have fun. I think that's the key phrase right there.
People don't, he's not ring chasing, okay? Like if he were, he would have gone to the Thunder or the Spurs.
Okay.
He's not doing it here. He's trying to have fun and do what he wants to do. A lot of these guys also think they're so good that wherever they go, they can help them win a title. There's a confidence. Shockingly, LeBron is overconfident.
That part of wanting to have fun, I think to close out his career playing with Steph Curry would be something that he would have so much joy with doing.
Yeah.
That would be
friends with him. And
yeah,
they
of course,
built
yes.
a connection over the Team USA, and he likes Steve Kerr.
So are they this whole idea that, because remember when we heard last week, it was down to 3 teams, one of those not being named Golden State, by the way.
I think things change.
So you think it could?
I think things change, and LeBron is annoying probably to deal with in these situations. I don't think he's as transparent as he probably should be to help his agent and everything. I definitely think there's a frustration there. I mean, Windhorst talked about it last week that Cleveland, the year he went back to Cleveland, they had Gordon Hayward in the building, and they didn't think they were going to get him, right? In Miami, they didn't really know.
That's right.
So certain things, he probably hurts the team he's going to a little bit more. Maybe they're trying to orchestrate something in that regard, or maybe he's just really bad at this.
Maybe he's just really bad at this whole thing.
At communicating to teams and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, how about leaving the Lakers? They couldn't get a hold of him. I mean, is this a little passive aggressive or what? He basically is like, I'm not going to talk to them, so I'm not going to respond. I'm going to shut everything off.
He was never going to the Lakers. So if you listen to J.J. Redick's press conference last August, I want to say, Dave McMenamin did a really good job. Obviously, the obligatory Redick questions. And then they said, what's the deal with LeBron finishing his career and things like that? Because it was the first time ever that LeBron was going into a season without a player option on the last deal. So he was a known free agent. And Pelinka, and we've all been there in media scrums, but this was on the stage, but it was still the media scrum sort of tools that we have as reporters, is he answered a question, and as he was finishing, he turned because he wanted to be done with it. But the question basically said, he goes, sure, I'd love for LeBron to finish his career here with the Lakers, which means basically if he retired this year, yeah, he would be finishing his career. And then McMenamin, as Pelinka was turning, asked a follow-up, and it was the same verbiage. It wasn't like, we want LeBron to stay with our franchise as long as he's going to play. That's very different than we want him to finish his career here with the Lakers. That would be a great story. He said something like that. It doesn't mean LeBron's a Lakers for as long as he wants. They were done with him. They wanted to be Luka's team because they're all about getting Luka to extend this current contract. We just saw the extension that Wemby got. We saw the extension that Mitchell got. The reason Jaylen Brown was traded is because he would have demanded an extension this summer or next summer, and he wasn't going to play out his deal. That's why. That's the big difference. Yes, the dollar figures over the next couple of years is apples to apples with Paul George. It's the obligatory extension beyond that. So it's not 2 versus 3 years at the same price. So the Lakers were done with him, and we knew that going back to last August.
So let's draw a line then through some of these teams that you can bet on, right? Let's pretend that we know the 3 teams or the 2 teams that he's really down to. This report saying it's Cleveland and Golden State. So David Aldridge wrote a story today saying that the best landing spot basketball-wise would be Minnesota. I can't disagree. I think that I would be fascinated by that. They're at 5%. I really think there's less than 1% that he's going to go to Minnesota.
I mean, I'm looking at the Kalshi right now. Like 6% is not the worst bet in the world.
It's not the worst bet.
I mean, you're getting 15.5 to 1.
No, I understand that. I would want a little bit more, I think.
That's fair. I don't think he's going to Philly at all. I don't think he can handle the media. I don't think he wants to go there. And I think there's going to be a clashing of egos with Jaylen Brown. Like that was the reason, or one of the reasons that Boston wanted to get rid of him, right? That was part of they weren't optimistic about him with coexisting with Tatum. Miami just doesn't feel right.
We're not betting Miami.
It's a weird front line there, and I don't think he wants to go back. And also, he hated what Pat Riley did. Very different than saying he hates Pat Riley. But when Pat Riley went scorched earth on him after he left, saying it's tough, you got to come back, and then he announced his wife was pregnant, LeBron didn't announce it. Pat Riley did, and LeBron was very upset at that.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's going back to Pat Riley. So I think it's Golden State, everything's hunky-dory there, and fluff and pillows and rainbows and everything. I don't think the Cleveland thing feels right. I know poetically it makes sense to come full circle. I don't think so.
By the way, so how strong are you on Steph Curry overall with his talents? Because I have this opinion on this show. It goes back to what did it for me was the Olympic gold medal match against France.
Yes.
And when he played that dominant performance and he was the reason why Team USA won, I said, that's it for me. He's my all-time starting 5-point guard. Like, that's it. He's better than Magic Johnson. I could actually make the case that he's like, in terms of impact overall, nobody's impacted the game ever like Steph Curry. At 6'3".
All of this is heavily nuanced. I think people who just hold LeBron's record in the finals you're just sports dumb. Okay. You just don't understand the stuff. Obviously, we only have a few minutes. I could do 2 hours on this and just explaining it's so heavily nuanced. With Steph winning that ring against the Celtics and then also the Team USA performance, I think if you had all the greatest players in their prime on a blacktop and you pick teams, I think he goes number 1 because there's just no one else like him. And the pressure he puts on opposing teams in his peak, I used to call him the Shaq of the perimeter.
Yeah.
Because as soon as Shaq crossed half court, teams like they're pointing to where he is and the entire he changes the entire
completely
opposing defense. And there's no one like him. Like for every Jordan drafted first, you can still get Kobe. For every Kareem, you can get Wilt or Shaq and what. There's just nothing like the pressure. With LeBron, there's always going to be someone else. So I think, it's such a fictitious, fun sports argument, but what Steph does, the pressure he puts on and what he creates for teammates is second to none. And you just mentioned he's 6'3". He's not 5'9".
Yeah,
okay?
right.
He's gotten better defensively. The game has changed, the 3-point line and everything. I think he would be my first pick.
Not going to disagree.
So the next pick would be Jordan. It's like, okay. And then you start going down the list of the all-time greats. Okay, I pick LeBron. Not that he's going to guard Jordan, but you have to pick someone to guard LeBron. Sure. Then I'm going to pick Kobe because you're not going to go Jordan and Kobe. Then I'm going to go Kareem. If I have LeBron, Kareem, and Steph, you got to. There's always a counter to the counter.
Oh, no doubt.
There's nothing to counter Steph.
I would agree. Who's that guy? Who's the person?
Yeah, you maybe go Isaiah as a point guard, right? Because he was that good and things like that, and he can obviously stay with Steph to a certain extent. But he can't shoot like him. But he at least defensively, because guys like Jordan are going to have tough. They're not going to want to chase him all around.
All right, the VSiN NFL betting guide is out now, and whether you're betting futures, win totals, which I love to bet, division races, MVP, Rookie of the Year, Super Bowl odds. Our guide's going to help you get ahead of the market before training camp begins. Inside, you're going to get breakdowns of all 32 teams in the league, projected win totals, best bets from VSiN experts, future analysis, power ratings, and more. Get it today with our football special for only $175. And the sooner you sign up, the more value you get with full access to everything we do across every sport. Now through the Super Bowl, that includes daily best bets, real-time betting splits from DraftKings and Circa, AI-powered prop projections, and 24/7 video on the VSiN Watch app. Head to vsin.com/subscribe now to get it. That's vsin.com/subscribe. VSIN.com/subscribe. I also think that how they have played together before, like in past All-Star games, there was something there, like, and it was the commenters, the broadcasters would say, could you imagine these two guys playing on the same team sometime down the road? Yeah, I can actually.
Yeah, and Steph's not ball dominant. That was the issue with Luka and Austin Reeves for that matter. Steph can play off the ball great, and Draymond's also got a very high IQ. So that, and then who knows with Jimmy Butler if he gets traded? There's a path here.
Yeah, we'll analyze the Open Championship with best bets. Ryan Ballingy is going to join the program coming up next here on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
We'll get some best bets here for the final major of the 2026 calendar year. The Open Championship is this week. I love this event. I love how it's like overnights here living on the West Coast. I'm not Matt Youmans. We don't stay up and, we get 43 minutes of sleep and then, we're back at it at 7 o'clock in the morning.
It's a shame his annual party, which was one of the best things we had
for the Open Championship.
It went away. It was the final round. So it would start Saturday night, Sunday morning at about 2 a.m. or so, maybe midnight, and go until 11 a.m., noon.
Sure.
People trickled off over the years. And Matt was like, only 2 people want to do it, 3 people. Because he would stay up all night. And it's a great idea.
It really is. Yeah. Yeah.
It's almost better in like the East Coast. Start at 4 a.m.
Probably
5 a.m.
Yeah. All right. So more on this here. We go to the progressive guest line. Ryan Ballingy, kind enough to join the program. 19th hole golf show and Golf News Net as well. Ryan, thanks for the time today. How are you?
Great. How are you guys?
Doing really well. So we started the conversation on the Open Championship a little bit earlier today. Like, and Scotty's now 7-1. You actually said during the break you saw like 7.5-1. At what number are we talking about? It's like, I have to get involved at some point here because it's just too good to pass up on him.
Yeah, I think we're right there. I mean, somewhere between 7.5 and 8-1 is probably a yes for me. I mean, he's spent so much of this year plus 300, plus 400, plus 500. I mean, those are kind of silly numbers. Plus 800, where he's kind of on parity with Rory McIlroy, is close to joint favorite this week. I feel like that's a number you got to go with, and I think that's a little bit of an overreaction to him finally missing a cut last weekend.
So I'm actually anti-Scotty for the last month or so. I just think recent form, you just can't. Even if he gets up to 8-1, I get it. He's defending champion, and last year he was the favorite after every round. He wasn't leader after every round, but he did go 64 in round 2. And never looked back. So I get it, but his recent form last year with the putter, much better than it is right now. I have concern going into this tournament. I wouldn't bet him, even if he got to maybe 10-1, I would. Ooh. But still, there's just too many other good golfers. If he's not, peak Scotty with the putter, then he missed a playoff 4-footer, didn't even lip out. So what, even if he gets to this price, what about his recent form does not scare you off?
There's some benefit here that the Open Championship greens tend to be slower than the other majors. I mean, even than week to week on the PGA Tour. So he can kind of hit those speed putts that he likes to ram them in these days, which I don't know that I like personally as a golfer, but it's what he seems to like to do. I think that can work to his advantage here. Also, because the greens are slower, he doesn't necessarily have to worry quite as much as he probably typically would with a flat stick, where if you kind of miss a short one just a little bit, you're going to miss by quite a bit, like he did in that Travelers playoff you're talking about, Doug. I think the tee to green game is great. The difference between when Scotty Scheffler wins and finishes top 10 or top 20 is comes down to putting. And I think his ball striking is superior enough to kind of warrant at least a look here at 7.5 or 8-1. But I don't love the number either way.
Yeah. Well, here might be the betting angle with Scotty this week, because he is now finally drifting out. As Ryan was saying, he's not 3-1 anymore, 4-1. So he's now plus 145 to finish top 5. But even better than that, when's the last time, Ryan, you think that we saw Scotty Scheffler minus 125 to finish top 10? It's the first book I looked at. You might have a better number. That, to me, seems like kind of buying low right now on Scotty. What do you think?
I think that's kind of one of those bets I would like to place as kind of a saver for the rest of my bankroll for the week. I think he can get into the top 10 here pretty easily. I mean, he does it with his eyes closed half the time. So if you're going to try and kind of hedge a little bit against taking a couple longer shots here, because I do think this is a fairly wide open tournament. Maybe that can cover you quite a bit.
Okay, let's begin with the golfers who you have bet at this point to win it outright. Chris Gotterup won the Scottish last year. He was also very good again this past weekend. Why do you like Chris this weekend at the Open?
I bet him after the Deer, and I like Deer. The Deer is not a great proxy for this tournament, but he played his way into it last year and then played very well, obviously, at the Scottish and won. He defended very well, as you mentioned, over the last weekend. There seems to be a pretty strong correlation that's starting to develop between performance in the Scottish Open the week prior and then playing well in the Open Championship the very next week. My concern with Gotterup in general is just that he could be tired. I know that he's young. He's won 3 times this year, but he's now going on basically a 5th week in a row, almost 6 weeks in a row. That's a lot of golf for anybody. I don't care if you're in your 20s or not. So is there an element of being tired to this? Potentially. But other than that, all the indicators suggest that he's playing good golf. He seems to like this style of golf with his length and the way that Royal Birkdale is going to play very firm and fast. He can kind of play whatever brand of golf he wants off the tee and put himself in a position to play pretty well.
And what number did you get on him? What number would you recommend to the audience here?
That was on 33. I would say anywhere from 30 to 35 is probably pretty playable here. I wouldn't take anything into the 20s. But if you can get him into the 30s, I would go for it.
Yeah. Okay. So you've been betting this now for a little while. And one guy that, again, we brought up a little bit earlier in the show, you have Justin Rose. I'm curious at the number there because now he's down to like 29, 30. Maybe there's a 35 out there on him, but I want a piece of him somehow. I'm thinking maybe first round leader on Justin. What number did you get on him outright?
That was 45, and that was not too long after the Masters.
Okay.
This was a thing I've thought about for Justin Rose basically since last year. You know, this tournament where he was a 17-year-old, hold out in the final hole, kind of extends his arm up to the sky. This is kind of a full circle sentimental bet. Although I will say he has been playing some good golf. He's certainly been playing some pretty good golf. The age factor doesn't really bother me here. He certainly wants to get one more major championship. He's been close in this championship not too long ago. Obviously, he can be a first-round leader, and I really like that call, Mitch, because he's done it so many times at the Masters. He knows what that pressure is like, and he can certainly handle it. It'd be an interesting way to kind of angle him this week.
Been mostly big names at the majors the last couple of years. We did get Aaron Rai this year, J.J. Spaun a year ago. Are there any bombers you're looking at? I mean, there's sometimes bombers I don't disclose because I'm a little embarrassed that I bet it. You know, is there anyone that, you know, trust space here? Anybody worth a little sprinkle that you think it's not that crazy?
I will admit this is a little bit of a crazy one, but I really like Johnny Kiefer, a guy who was number 1 on the Korn Ferry Tour last year. Got to know him a little bit. We do a show about the Korn Ferry Tour, and really good young kid. And it seems like he's starting to kind of figure out how to play the PGA Tour. There's a very big difference between playing the Korn Ferry Tour, where 25 under wins every week, and playing the PGA Tour. And it seems like he's starting to find that, notwithstanding getting into this championship by virtue of playing well in the Scottish Open. But he's 250 to 1, kind of really interesting number on a golf course that seems to favor his brand of golf, I think. You can kind of get, if you look at back 2017, you had some relatively unknown players back then contend. Hao Tong Lee's one of those guys. He was 3rd place back in 17, and I wouldn't even fathom what his price was back then. But basically the same price as Chris Gotterup is, or excuse me, as Johnny Kiefer is now at 250 to 1. That's what Hao Tong Lee is this week. So thinking about kind of similar guys, that would be like my long shot that in safe space, I will admit I'm going to play, even though it might look foolish 30 minutes into it.
Okay. My safe space play. I love that. That's great. Okay. So one final pick that you have this week that you do like better than safe space. It's Patrick Reed. Go ahead and take it away on him.
I love Reed's ball striking. If it gets particularly windy, it could be concerning, but I don't think that it's going to get that way. I don't think it's going to get out of pocket here. Wind-wise, 12 to 14 miles per hour is nothing for him. Distance is not going to be a concern, and I think that him playing well in this format, again, kind of leaning back into, if you played the Scottish Open pretty well, you tend recently to play pretty well the next week. He's very fired up to play in these tournaments. He still wants to remind people that he could be a top 20 player in the world. He's going to the PGA Tour next year through the DP World Tour. He's got nothing to worry about there. So it's kind of a free roll for him. And I think that's for a chance for him to be aggressive and play the kind of golf that he likes to play.
You can get more golf coverage with Ryan, the 19th Hole Golf Show, and also Golf News Net, and follow him on X at Ryan Ballengee, Ballengee. Great stuff, Ryan. Thank you for the time. Best of luck this week at the Open.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
And he joined us here on the Progressive Guest Line. So again, he likes Goddard up 30s, Patrick Reed there with the breakdown, and also Justin Rose. And the first book I looked at for the first round leader for Rose, 45 to 1. I think that's playable.
Yeah, I think you have to, just given his knack for that. I also, we haven't discussed it a lot, but I like those markets without Scotty, without the big 3 or big 5. Just gives you a few more bullets in the gun and don't get greedy. Also, some of these books sleep at the wheel a little bit. I've seen the same price for both.
Yeah, it's
then you just blame yourself. I mean,
right. Or, even if it's not the same, which I would also notice, like if you're going to tell me that you can have the winner without Scotty, Rory, like a Fitzpatrick and maybe a Rahm, and a golfer that you're looking at is 20 to 1 with all those guys included, he might be 18 to 1 with, okay, I'm going to miss 2 points.
I think it's great. Last year, Harris English finished second. Probably a happier payout if you had that ticket and you didn't have to deal with Scotty just being so dominant last year at this tournament.
Yeah, what do you think Harris English was last year in the winner without Scotty? Still a gigantic number.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then you can shop around so you can pick off rogue numbers to fill out your portfolio. That's the beauty of this.
Sure. Follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. We're going to get to our best bets coming up with in-pocket plays next.
On this show, we follow the money, and when VSiN decided to launch our own store, the smart money was on Shopify. Getting the VSiN store off the ground was easier than we expected, and Shopify's templates and AI tools had us look incredible and professional from day one. Zero coding required. Shopify checkout keeps sales moving smoothly, and returning customers can complete a purchase in one click. Built-in analytics, you always know what's selling and where your customers are coming from and how to keep the momentum going. When questions come up, and they will, Shopify's AI assistant Sidekick is there with answers so you never lose momentum. You can check out the store at vsin.com/store. And if you're ready to build your own, all you need is the idea. Shopify handles the rest. Start your free trial at shopify.com/vsin. Shopify.com/vsin. Again, that's shopify.com/vsin.
To determine the winner of any given college basketball game.
Someone gives you 10,000 to 1 on anything. You take it. Take it. Take it.
I bet you $20 I can get you gambling before the end of the day. No way. I'll give you 3 to 1 odds. Nope. 5 to 1. Nope. 10 to 1. You're up.
Love the intro to this segment every single day. Kevin Malone from The Office. Doug Kazarian filling in for Paulie Howard. Paulie's on vacation this week. I have yelled at Paulie on the air several times. He's never watched the show. He has
Office?
He's never seen it before.
Tragic.
Of all people who I've ever met my entire
and he
life.
loves Seinfeld.
He loves it all. How does Paul Howard not get a huge kick out of Michael Scott?
He's got some OCD going on, so I could see that it's a can of worms he doesn't want to open. He's a little.
Yeah, but he loves TV shows more than anybody I've ever met.
You mentioned Kevin from the. So 15 years ago, my brother's bachelor party, he was poolside at the Palms, and the night before in a playoff game, the Celtics had come back from like I think 20 down or something. So I saw him. I was like, I bet $500. Yeah, I did. He loved it. He was so cool about it.
So JVT and I, we are recording the latest Pot of the Futures tonight at 6:30 Pacific time. He and I made a bet live on a podcast 2 weeks ago. We have a bet 10,000 to 1 now.
Ooh.
Exact matchup NBA Finals next year.
Oh, it's got to be like Clippers. And it's got to be teams that have no shot at the playoffs.
Utah.
Okay.
Out of the West.
They do.
Against Charlotte.
Okay. I'm on board with that.
You give me 10,000 to 1 on anything.
To 1.
You have to take it.
I would bet that.
Yeah.
That's a really good bet. Well, really good strong, but I understand that.
All right, recapping the bets from the weekend. This Red Sox team has been ridiculous now. For the life of me, I could not understand the numbers all weekend long against the Mets. It's the Mets we're talking about. They have been the worst ROI team in Major League Baseball all year long.
Did you see how Sunday's game went?
Oh, of course I did.
I had the Red Sox too.
So the Mets were favored. I thought, the numbers were out of control on Friday and Saturday, and then they took money yesterday. Yes, the Red Sox never should have won the game, but they did. So on Friday, Sonny Gray against McLean. McLean very good, but it's still the Red Sox against the Mets. First 5 got there, full game got there.
And McLean hasn't been that unhittable or anything.
No.
Last year he was better, frankly.
Sure. Suzuki on Friday went over 1.5 total bases as well. That was a plus 122. I like those bets. Double in his first at bat. That was a good one.
Nice.
And this is the bet that it was a full weekend. Well, not really, because it looked good Thursday, Friday, but there's a lot of golf to be played at that point. And then the big delay on Saturday, I think they took the course at 6 o'clock Scotland time. Scottish time. And Rory really struggled on Saturday. They couldn't even finish the round. They had to pick it up on Friday. Had a terrible third round, but he put it back together, thank God. So a big bet on Rory, top 10 at plus 145. Got there. It was a nice weekend at the old office.
Good work. I got the camera in my way, so I can't see everything on the screen. So nicely done.
I got some pending stuff that's not looking as hot. One of which would be the Brewers' most wins in July. I did not have that sweep at the hands of the Pirates on my bet when I made it.
No, I would imagine. Who's right now in the clubhouse leader for July?
I got it.
I know the Marlins went wire to wire in June.
They did, and they were 80-1. I got a double. In fact, it's got to be the Red Sox. They won 9 straight.
Yeah, I was going to ask just because I know a week ago, maybe last Tuesday or Wednesday, I think the Tigers or the Marlins had the best record since June 1st.
Yeah.
So if the Marlins obviously had the most in June, then one would think they had the lead of July, right? Given that stat. But you're right, Boston on a roll. I have not bet this market yet.
Oh,
I was poking Chris Bennett to get more involved, but I have not done it myself.
Once you get involved and you have a team in the mix, you're going to want to do it every single month. I love it. It's fantastic. Red Sox have 9, and it looks like 7 teams have 7.
Okay.
But they have a huge series post All-Star break with the Rays. I think that's a 4-game set.
But that comeback against the Yankees, that was Sunday Night Baseball. That was not July.
I don't think
that was June.
That
was end of June. Okay.
Yeah. So Brewers, Rays, Giants, 2 of my teams. France to win the World Cup. Messi Golden Boot 6-1. And this Bryce Miller, one bad start. All it took. There's no wiped out. We'll win the Cy Young, I think. That's the pending stuff.
We're far from over there.
I know, but he also missed the first one. The new stuff that we have, having some fun tonight with the home run derby. I do have one bet, and it's Jordan Walker, Cardinals to hit the longest home run in 2026. The home run derby, that's at 5-1. When you look at, again, there's no shot clock, right? There's no overall clock on these players.
Right.
So you're looking at guys with the best bat speed, can take their time a little bit. This is not going to be an endurance chase at all. It's going to be speed. Camaro's bat speed is at 79.9. Walker 79.2. Exit velocity like 111 compared to 110.8. He's right there at the top. He's 6'5", 250.
And he's white hot.
Yeah,
Caminero.
so
that's got to factor into this, right?
Well, that's for sure.
Not that he's facing big league pitching, but he's in his zone.
Yeah. So 5-1 there, and look, this. I made the bet. It's a half a unit. It's Jude Bellingham to win the Golden Ball award. I like England to beat Argentina, and if Spain gets by France, and Spain plays England, Spain has had no standout player at this point. And Bellingham, to me, has been the most important and the most impactful player for England ahead of Harry Kane. You can debate that all you want. I thought the match against Mexico, he won single-handedly, and he did it defensively as well. So 4-1 to win the Golden Ball, which is the MVP of the tournament.
So Golden Ball is MVP, not
Golden Boot's the most goals.
Golden Boot is most goals.
Yep.
Okay. So
Yep.
Golden Ball. And in the past, Golden Ball has sometimes been the team on the runner-up or
you can be
third place team too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yep.
There's a path there, even if the England doesn't win. So comparing it, like we talked Super Bowl MVP and money line, very different here.
100%.
Very different here.
Yep. So those are my bets tonight.
Light card for me, obviously nothing from the weekend. I only have 2 WNBA plays, but I am getting involved because we just heard that Angel Reese is starting for the Atlanta Dream tonight. So I'm going to lay the big number with the 9.5 just because Sparks are right. They have back-to-back wins, but they have terrible defense. Still no Kelsey Plums. Dream coming off a loss. They should get buzzed. But I like the team total Dream over as well, things like that. I'm also going to hold your nose and bet it. We're going to take the Mercury first quarter team total over 20.5. They just lost by 48. Typically, when this happens, at least in the NBA, teams respond well in the first quarter. I have found that the team total is the better way to do it. Usually you're bad if you lose by 48. So I don't want to have to defend this Minnesota Lynx offense, which is just such precision, so excellent. Now, that's a flat spot for Minnesota, so I think the intensity will be lacking. They're coming off arguably their biggest win of the year. So I think the Mercury offense, they're old with Alyssa Thomas and Bonner. I don't like this team, but I think first quarter to the spot, everything is worth the play. 20.5 is not a big number, especially if the Lynx shoot so quickly. There'll be a lot of possessions. But I like Mercury over 20.5 points in the first quarter. I don't want to rely on them to cover or play any defense.
Okay, so good explanation there as opposed to taking the points.
Right.
Okay.
I like them for the game a little bit, but the Lynx are really good. But it's a flat spot. It's an ugly performance. I've faded the Lynx in the last couple of weeks and actually done okay with that because the spots were terrible. And they were laying a big number. Here, they're laying 12.5. Here. I couldn't lay the 12.5. No way. But still the Mercury, and they're not that good. But they've lost 3 straight, coming off 48-point loss. I think they can respond here.
Very good. Best of luck tonight.
You too. This was fun, man.
Yeah, the show zipped by, man.
Did.
3-hour program. Like the summer, pointing this out earlier. First time in my life that I can never fast forward to the football season. No point. Been too good.
Yeah, and also just even if without the World Cup, just the betting sort of content. Now, you obviously have lived out here forever. You've done betting content so even before legalization. But just there's so many more books. The menus are bigger. The storylines are more interesting. And we haven't even gotten into the Bryce Harper statement today. Things like that. There's so much going on with betting flavor, like betting on LeBron's next team. In the old days, you would only get to bet on the futures market to win it all or the conference odds.
Or you'd have to have maybe some obscure, but like offshore odds
bet
as well.
Online or something.
Yeah, sure.
Like
$100
max.
Very small limits. Yep.
Right. Here,
there's $107 million in that at Kelce.
I mean, it's just such a different world now. So we could have a lot of fun. And actually, I think that's the most fun is when you can incorporate betting content with regular sports content without being full degen. You can just understand the nuances of it all and have fun sort of back and forth with it.
Sure. Yep.
And we got the Open Championship on deck. I mean, you can do a lot more with that, obviously.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, as for the home run derby and how that event's going to go tonight, you asked me this earlier. I cannot watch 3 hours or whatever it is of home runs. I find it to be very boring.
Chris Berman still on the broadcast?
It's a great question. I don't even know.
Where is it this year? Philly?
Philadelphia.
Right.
Yeah,
so he's going to all the suburbs of Philly.
Yeah.
Got to know all that.
But I'll watch, of course. But I will watch a little bit of it here and there. And the All-Star game, we'll spend more time on the All-Star game tomorrow.
That's a fun watch. It is, the All-Star game.
It's the one game that, in theory, still means something.
Yeah, and just you see guys at their absolute peak. They're not worried about injury and playing, like you see stud swings and bat.
And they go out there and they throw 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, it's just awesome.
All right, stay tuned. VSiN Prime Time is next. They're going to take you through the live betting night with the WNBA, with the Home Run Derby. It's Matt Humans and Will Hill for the next 4 hours. You can wake up early tomorrow morning. VSiN by the books. Go get them tonight. Best of luck. We'll talk to you tomorrow. See you.